operating the vehicle are basically, it's like a cloned agent to an extent. Like, I mean, even if the person driving the vehicle is an idiot, with the right surveillance technician, they can access that vehicle, you know, then they got lots of eyes on the ground and ears too. Basically what's going on inside the vehicle came to my mind a lot because a lot of what I was working with here was I was flagging traffic for gas lines. We're putting in gas lines, and I always, you know, it's a concern of mine that would be like a potential terrorist threat, which definitely they know it is. I mean, even before the pipeline in Russia blew up, you know, it's just kind of an obvious security threat. So anytime you got major things like that going on, you want to have some intel on what the people inside the vehicles are talking about, and where they're digging the lines, like what's going on in those neighborhoods. So that's just kind of common sense. But that's kind of the future of technology to a degree, is sort of these unmanned devices that can be accessed, and they can't really betray you like a human being potentially could. But this is where we're taking the field trip to, is this bridge, because we're here in Grafton, West Virginia. Claire B, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she was a basketball, basketball coach and author. Okay, I think that the last time Grafton had a state championship team, she might have played on that basketball team. I could be mistaken, but that's what I thought I remembered her name from. But this bridge here, I call it the footbridge. Over on the far side of the river, you see that memorial marking. Here 2 years ago, I think it was in 2020, a young man, I believe he was probably in his early 20s, right about 20. I was working up the hospital, which is up there on that hill there, that big building up there on the hill. Let's see make sure I got it in the camera. If I'm getting that or not. What the heck? Because it's just way smaller and it looks like it's not showing up. That is insane. Okay, I think that's bizarre. There's a great big hospital up on that hill, but when I'm looking in the camera, I can't see it. Anyhow, he ended up at the morgue one night, and the same night there was a body came in all chopped to pieces. But everything here. See, I guess his nickname was Foot, but this paint with these footprints, those were his last steps. I guess while his footsteps were still wet, they took paint and re-stepped them. And you can see how frantic he was. They're starting to wear off now. But he was really frantic, running in the road, out of the road, before ultimately jumping off the river to his death. There's some people camping over there. Well, that was all for the field trip for this. Kind of give you an idea of where I live. There is an outside. This is the Taggart River. It's a big lake. Taggart Lake is just up this way. And you can walk to the dam here. It's about a mile that way, maybe not even that far. But you can't get to the lake from there. You got to drive a few miles this way. I think 2-3 miles this way, or you can go this way to the other side. So it's a long ways that way. But this down here, even the river, you can get a boat out on it. I never have. It's the big grocery store. It's not a whole lot in town, but Clarksburg, Fairmont, and Morgantown are all within 25 miles from here, so it's not far from the bigger towns. And it's got kind of a small town West Virginia thing to it. It's got some neat architecture and some neat history and stuff. So, pretty good place overall. Right, temporarily, I'm slid out from underneath of my computer hackers, and I'd like to keep it that way. I don't know if they just like, see, after the last thing that went on with the last video I made where there was stuff going on in the background, basically that was what I believe that was facial recognition devices. And I believe because I did 2 different characters in that, the facial recognition thing, it got thrown off. So it was trying to sync up 2 different faces to me, and that was throwing it for a loop. But I encountered that software before, and what it can do, the first time I saw it, people thought I was crazy, but I saw it was like two images of me crossed, and they were both talking. Well, when the image crossed over the other image on multiple tracks of video footage, what I was saying jumped onto the other face, and that other face that was recorded on a whole different date started doing the monologue of the face that it went across. And I was like, holy shit. But that's when I realized it's it's an app. So with that, they can change a mouth to say anything they want it to say. It just takes a large enough voice sample and a large enough amount of footage with you speaking. So it could happen to anybody. And the problem is they had, and this is where I still got some issues. I don't want to say too much because I got to make sure that they're out and can't get back in is the whole thing. So got a few more doors tightened down on my system, and hopefully get them shut out and out for good. I'll make a 3 gigabyte video, and the best I can usually upload is like a 500 megabyte version of it, because they keep shutting off my progress or delaying it, because all my stuff's streaming into their computer, and they turn around, alter it, and upload it, and leave me with the dingy. I was thinking at first it was like they were doing the whole whole different people sort of reenacting it, but what I believe it is just probably some face apps where they like make an older face or younger face and just change it somewhat. Well, that was a field trip back in here.